Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt that familiar stiffness, the kind that makes even getting out of bed feel like a battle? If you're over 50 and living with arthritis, you know the story all too well. The pain creeps into the simplest moments, tying your shoes, climbing the stairs, even opening a jar. And yet, here's the shocking truth. Sometimes the relief we're searching for isn't hiding in a prescription bottle. It's right there on our plate. What if I told you that something as humble as rice, yes, rice could quietly be working either for you or against you? I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Today, I'm going to share 5 special types of rice that don't just fill your stomach. They fight inflammation, protect your joints, and help you reclaim the mobility you deserve. Here's the simple truth. Not all rice is created equal. The type of rice you choose can either fan the flames of inflammation or help calm them down. Arthritis isn't just about sore joints. It's an inflammatory storm raging inside the body. That's why choosing grains rich in antioxidants, fiber, and minerals is like handing your body a fire extinguisher instead of gasoline. The right rice varieties slow blood sugar spikes, protect cartilage from oxidative stress, and give your bones and muscles the nutrients they desperately need. This isn't a fad, it's science. Even research published in the Journal of Medicinal Food shows that whole grains can lower inflammatory markers significantly. And that's why the next 5 rice varieties aren't just delicious, they're medicine for your joints disguised as comfort food. Let me take you back to a story about Helen, one of my patients, who sat across from me with tears in her eyes. "Dr. Brian," she said, "I just want to walk around the block without feeling like my knees are on fire." Helen had osteoarthritis, and like many, she reached for what seemed easiest. White rice, quick and familiar. But white rice is stripped of its nutrients, like a tree without its bark, leaving behind empty calories that spike blood sugar and fuel inflammation. So I asked her to try something different. Brown rice. Brown rice is a whole grain, meaning it keeps the outer layers, the bran and germ, that hold the real treasure, fiber, magnesium, and selenium. Think of fiber as the gentle broom sweeping through your body, reducing inflammation by stabilizing blood sugar and improving gut health. And magnesium? It's the quiet hero that keeps your bones strong and muscles from cramping. Selenium, a powerful antioxidant, helps neutralize the free radicals that attack your joints like tiny vandals. When Helen started adding brown rice to her meals, swapping it for white in her soups, stir fries, and even making a hearty rice salad, she noticed something within weeks. Her morning stiffness softened, and those sharp knee pains, they began to fade. It wasn't magic. It was chemistry working in her favor. Brown rice has a low glycemic index, so instead of blood sugar surging like a roller coaster, it rises slowly and steadily, reducing the inflammation roller coaster that often comes with arthritis. Here's the beautiful part. Brown rice isn't exotic or expensive. It's accessible, comforting, and adaptable. Add a drizzle of olive oil, a sprinkle of turmeric, and suddenly you've turned an ordinary grain into a joint-loving meal. When you eat brown rice, you're not just filling your plate. You're sending reinforcements to protect your cartilage and bones. Helen did, and now she walks that block with confidence, often texting me pictures of her smiling face mid-stroll. That's the power of one simple switch. When I first mention red rice to patients, I often get puzzled looks. Red? You mean like dyed? No, not dyed. Nature painted it that way for a reason. That deep reddish-brown color is like a badge of honor, a sign that this rice is loaded with anthocyanins, the same powerful antioxidants found in blueberries. Imagine tiny warriors patrolling your joints, fighting the oxidative stress that eats away at cartilage. That's what anthocyanins do. Let me tell you about Robert, a retired teacher who loved gardening, but arthritis in his hands made it nearly impossible. He told me, "Dr. Brian, my garden was my sanctuary, and now I can barely hold a trowel." I suggested something simple. Replace his white rice with red rice twice a week. He raised an eyebrow but agreed to try. A few weeks later, he came back smiling. "It's not gone," he said, flexing his fingers, "but it's better, and I'm planting tomatoes again." Here's why red rice works. Anthocyanins aren't just antioxidants, they're inflammation tamers. They reduce those invisible sparks that lead to swelling and pain. Red rice also packs iron and zinc, two minerals your joints secretly crave. Iron ensures your blood carries oxygen to tissues, while zinc supports collagen formation, the scaffolding of your joints. And the fiber? It's not just good for digestion, it keeps blood sugar steady, and that matters because blood sugar spikes can trigger inflammation, like dry wood catching fire. What I love about red rice is its versatility. It's slightly nutty, a little chewy, and it holds its own in salads, stir fries, and even as a hearty side to fish or chicken. Picture this: a warm bowl of red rice tossed with roasted vegetables, a drizzle of olive oil, and a sprinkle of herbs. It's not just food, it's therapy for your joints disguised as dinner. And for people like Robert, it means getting back to the things that make life rich, like tending to a garden without wincing in pain. That's the gift red rice can bring. Wild rice is a bit of a misfit in the rice family. Technically, it's not even rice. It's a grass. But don't let that fool you. This glossy, dark grain is like a secret weapon for anyone battling arthritis pain. Why? Because it's packed with omega-3 fatty acids, and those are nature's own anti-inflammatories. Picture a rusted hinge on an old door. When you oil it, the creak disappears. That's what omega-3s do for your joints. They lubricate and calm the fire inside. I once had a patient named Linda, an avid walker in her 60s, who came to me frustrated. "Dr. Brian," she sighed, "I've cut back on sweets, I've lost weight, but my knees still ache." We went through her diet, and it was mostly refined grains. I asked her to experiment, swap out some of that for wild rice a few times a week. She wasn't thrilled. She thought it sounded fancy and complicated, but she tried. A month later, she walked into my office grinning. "I made a wild rice and veggie soup," she said. "And guess what? The pain is lighter. I can do my 3-mile loop again without stopping." Wild rice doesn't just bring omega-3s to the table. It's also rich in protein, which is like scaffolding for your muscles, giving them strength to support your joints. And let's talk fiber. This grain has plenty. That means better digestion, more stable blood sugar, and less inflammation overall. Plus, it's low in calories and low on the glycemic index, so your energy stays steady without those harmful sugar spikes that fan the flames of arthritis. What I love most about wild rice is its earthy, nutty flavor. It pairs beautifully with lean proteins like salmon or chicken, or as the base of a hearty grain bowl with greens and roasted vegetables. For Linda, it became a staple, especially in warm soups during winter. And every time I see her now, she's planning another walking trip with her friends. That's the difference a small change can make. Sometimes relief doesn't come in a pill, it comes in a bowl of wild rice. Black rice, often called forbidden rice, sounds dramatic, and in a way it is. Centuries ago, it was reserved only for emperors because of its rich nutritional power. Today, it could be the hero your joints have been waiting for. The first time I saw black rice up close, I thought, this looks like tiny pieces of midnight. That deep color isn't just for show. It's a sign of anthocyanins, the same antioxidants we talked about with red rice, but in an even higher concentration. These compounds fight the microscopic battles inside your joints, neutralizing free radicals that would otherwise damage cartilage and worsen inflammation. One of my patients, Clara, had rheumatoid arthritis so bad she told me she couldn't open a jar without tears welling in her eyes. Medications helped, but the side effects left her drained. "Is there anything natural I can add?" she asked. I told her about black rice, explaining how its antioxidant profile makes it a powerhouse for joint protection. Clara raised an eyebrow. She'd never heard of it, but she gave it a try. Slowly, things changed. "It's like the fire isn't as hot," she said months later. She still had arthritis, but the flare-ups were less severe, and she felt stronger, more in control. Black rice isn't just about antioxidants. It's rich in vitamin E, which is like a shield for your cells, protecting them from oxidative stress and helping with tissue repair. That matters because cartilage breakdown is one of the main culprits in arthritis pain. Add to that its impressive fiber content, and you've got another tool for steady blood sugar, a hidden driver of inflammation. Low glycemic index? Check. That means fewer blood sugar spikes and more consistent energy throughout your day. And let me tell you, black rice is more than healthy. It's beautiful on the plate. Cook it up, and it turns this deep purple that feels almost regal. Pair it with sautéed greens and a drizzle of sesame oil, and you've got a dish that not only comforts but heals. Clara swears by her black rice bowls now. She says, "It makes me feel like I'm fighting back." And in a way, she is, because every bite is like sending tiny reinforcements to her joints. If there's one rice that feels like a familiar friend in this lineup, it's basmati. Light, fragrant, and often served alongside comforting meals, basmati rice isn't just a treat for your senses. It can be a quiet ally in your fight against arthritis. But here's the key. We're talking about whole grain basmati, not the refined white version. When you choose the whole grain, you keep all the natural layers that house fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Let me share the story of Frank, a 72-year-old retired engineer who loved cooking for his grandkids. He came to me with stiff hands and sore knees that made even holding a pan a challenge. "Dr. Brian," he said, "I just want to keep cooking for them." When I looked at his diet, I saw a lot of refined starches, white bread, white rice. I suggested a few simple swaps, one being whole grain basmati rice. At first he chuckled, thinking it wouldn't make much difference, but he trusted me enough to try. 3 months later, Frank brought me homemade vegetable biryani in a little container. "Taste this," he said proudly, "and guess what? I can knead dough again without groaning." His face lit up as he told me how much easier it was to move. That's not just food. That's freedom coming back into someone's life. What makes whole grain basmati so special for arthritis relief? First, its low glycemic index keeps your blood sugar steady, and that's critical because blood sugar spikes fuel inflammation like logs on a fire. Then there's vitamin B6, which helps with nerve function and can ease joint discomfort, and magnesium, the mineral that acts like a bodyguard for your bones, maintaining density and strength. Add in fiber for digestive health and reduce systemic inflammation, and you've got a grain that works as hard as you do. And the beauty of basmati, it's versatile and forgiving. You can turn it into a fluffy pilaf with vegetables and herbs, mix it with lentils for extra protein, or use it as the base of a hearty salad. Frank's favorite is still his biryani. He says it tastes like celebration, but feels like medicine. That's what whole grain basmati offers: nourishment that heals, meals that bring back the joy of movement, and a simple reminder that even the smallest changes can transform your health story. So here's the heart of it. Arthritis may feel like a thief stealing your comfort and mobility, but you're not powerless. The food you choose can be one of your greatest tools for healing. Brown rice, red rice, wild rice, black rice, and whole grain basmati. Each of these grains carries its own gift for your joints, from antioxidants that fight inflammation to minerals that strengthen your bones. This isn't about giving up the meals you love, it's about making them work for you, not against you. If this message speaks to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone you care about. Subscribe for more ways to reclaim your health, and let me know in the comments which rice you'll try first. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but every small choice is a step toward freedom from pain. You deserve that freedom at any age.